Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my show, Espresso Mertini. I have
Hello.
today Ruslan with me. Hi, Ruslan.
Hi.
It's a
Thank you for inviting.
it's a big pleasure. Thank you for the hospitality. And it's also a special episode because it's the 10th episode, two
Wow,
digits.
didn't know. Wow.
Yes.
No pressure.
And yeah, Ruslan, maybe you want to first introduce yourself to our viewers, listeners. How
Yeah,
you?
with pleasure. I'm Ruslan, one of the co-founders of Bluedot. We're building AI note-taker that records the meetings without the bots. We've been on the market for like 4 years, and it's been exciting. And I'm part of the Two Hearts community. That's how we get to know each other. I'm originally from Dagestan, but I was born in Ukraine. So my parents are from Dagestan. So if you know Islam Makhachev or Habib, you know Dagestan. So I grew up in Ukraine, studied there in university, then moved to Poland, to Warsaw, then moved to Germany. Now I'm in Germany, and that's why we're sitting here.
Amazing. Ruslan, we have already so much in common because also I was born and raised in Germany, but
Yeah.
like my parents are Turkish, and then
Yeah.
I always went in the summer vacations to Turkey.
Nice.
And in general, like in my show, I'm always curious about the path people choose, especially like school, because like till like you go to school, it's like everything is given.
Yeah.
Like the path is clear, but afterwards it's not that clear anymore for people. I see it also with my younger siblings.
Yeah.
Especially like nowadays you have so much opportunities, like nearly you can study wherever you want, or you
Yeah.
can do an apprenticeship. So yeah, I'm curious.
You mean school like university, right? Or like school like high school?
Yeah, like after high school.
After high school. Yeah, man, I'm not good at like advising on how to, because I didn't pick my high school. My parents picked it for me. So my father used to have a construction business, and my uncle as well. And I was like a very crazy child back then at like school time. I wanted to party and have fun. I didn't want to really like study. And they just said, look, that's what we are doing. That's what, and in Dagestan, many people have construction background, or they do something related to construction. So they're like, you're gonna go and study. It's like in Russia and Ukraine, it's like civil engineering. So you like planning how to build buildings, what it consists of. So I was studying that first 2 years. I mean, I didn't study. I was just trying to pass it through and like and finish. But the third year, I realized, okay, like I'm getting older and time to find something. Because so I was doing some internships in construction at my uncle's business and my father's. I realized I don't like it, so I wanted something else. And I always had this feeling I want to travel and see the world. And I realized that with construction, it's not possible. Like you need to be on the construction side, you need to work. And I saw opportunity in tech, in IT. In Ukraine, tech was really growing a lot. Lots of companies, they were hiring. So I went to the internship in one company, and then I'm like, okay, that's what should I do?
Okay, nice. First of all, cheers, Ruslan.
Cheers with this beautiful martini coffee.
With beautiful latte art.
Yeah, that was.
And when you studied construction, did you already moved out of your parents' home?
No,
or-
I was living with my parents. So I was living with my parents till the fifth year of university. So we studied there for 5 years, and then when I finished, so I wanted to study abroad, and my parents gave me this opportunity. So I moved to Poland, to Warsaw, and studied their IT project management. As I thought, I need to study something to be good to work as in tech, in project management. So I did it, and then I realized, and then I moved to Warsaw. I realized that it's bullshit. You don't need, and I wanted to make some money, so I quit university in Warsaw and started my first job. But in between, so I think what would be important as well, it's not like in between this third year of university and fifth, when I realized that construction is not good, and I want something related to tech. Overall, I wanted, because everyone, like let's say my father and my uncle, they have business. I wanted to do some business, so I was looking for different ideas. Me and my best friend back then at university were like trying different stuff all the time, did different ideas, trying to realize them. Something, most of stuff didn't work, and but I think I always had this idea that I want to have my business. The question was related to what. I just realized that I don't want this to be related to construction. in any way, and tech was a good choice. So yeah, and then
Okay, but were your dad also like working class, or did he attend a university?
my father,
Yeah.
yeah, he
Okay.
graduated from construction, same university basically.
Okay.
It's a big university in my city of Dnipro. It's like a big city, like million people. So it's like one of the strongest there university for construction. So yeah, but I didn't want to do construction.
Okay, okay. But I'm asking because oftentimes, especially like when you have a working class background, it's
Yeah.
also like this thought, okay, I have to study to go into IT or
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I had this feeling, because even though I could really start working, but I had this feeling that I want to move from Ukraine, I think. And I was like, okay, if I want to move out from Ukraine, I didn't have a job that would relocate me. The possibility was to study in university. Poland was an easy choice because it's similar language and cheaper than, for example, studying in Germany.
Mm.
And and what? And I moved there to study IT project management. They were like teaching us some like Kanban and like some very theoretical stuff that like
Yeah.
after half a year I'm like, damn, that's not gonna give me a job. Like
But I mean, like Poland is like a pretty strong country when it comes to IT.
now, yeah. Back
Yeah.
then was growing when I moved. I moved like 2014, 15, so like 10 years ago. I moved there.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
And then you dropped out.
I dropped out and started looking for a job. Went for an event. I was going a lot to events, like crazy.
Like networking events,
Networking
tech events.
every day. Because I was like, I was studying. I had lots of free time. It was first
Mm.
year of university, wasn't very hard, and I just wanted to get to know as much as I could. So every day or second day, I would go to some meetups related to tech, like Scrum, Agile, like whatever was there, like Java. I had no idea how to code in Java, but I go there and try to meet people and talk with them. And that's what led me to meet one girl. She was from Ukraine as well, and she was working in a company, in agency, recruitment agency. And we just had a chat, and she's like, "Yeah, we're actually hiring people. If you have a good English, you can study." And I applied. Oh, but actually, I skipped one important part. Why I was able to apply there, because when I studied in university, there's this program, work and travel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's very popular in Germany, because mostly kids here, they travel somewhere from school, like it's a proper travel. You go to the school, to another country, live in another family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like more nicely organized for Eastern European countries, and for Turkey as well. Actually, there was lots of Turkish people. You basically go and do like some shitty job. I mean, like I was doing this job, so I can call it, but it's like you clean dishes, you like take shit out, like whatever is out
Yeah.
there, you do that. You get paid a little bit, so they don't pay you the same like to locals,
Mm-hmm.
but you have an opportunity to learn English. So, but I realized when I moved to Poland that without English, I have limited opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and I had bad English. So, thank you for my parents. They paid for this program, because program cost money. The idea that you like invest into a little bit to the program and for the tickets, but you make more, 2, 3 times more while there. Some people
Yeah.
spend all of that, but my goal was like to cover the cost and make some money.
Mm.
So after first year in university, when I finished and I realized I want to drop out, I went to this program, flew to California. It was California, but not the California that we all see on the
TV
on
shows
TV shows. It was in the mountains. I was like with real rednecks. Like
in the north.
it was, so Sierra Nevada,
Mm.
like that direction. And it was it was a resort with bar, hotel, and it was a very beautiful, like it's such a beautiful area.
Okay.
But so I was there cleaning dishes. I was cleaning dishes for 3 months. I never before in my life could think that I would clean dishes, but like that's what, because I had such a bad English,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want me to work on the customer side. So they like, dude, you're gonna go clean dishes. I'm like, okay. So I was cleaning dishes for 3 months, but really good that like people that were working there, like this more village style Americans, they were very open to chat. Not like if you go to New York, they don't care about you. But there, I was something new for them. Like, oh, this international guy. So I had lots of conversations every day. Even like on the back on the kitchen, I was like cleaning, but I was like talking with everyone who was working in the kitchen, and that helped me to learn English. So I was learning grammar in the evening, and during the day was like chatting with them, and this really improved my English. So when I came back to Poland, I felt confident working in international companies. So, and then this girl recommended me to work in this agency. I went to the agency. They gave me the job, and it was my first proper job as a recruiter. So I was hiring engineers for companies in Berlin. That's how I got the feeling of Germany.
So with that job, you also moved to Berlin?
I didn't move to Berlin. I was working remotely from. So the whole idea of that business was that this guy was the owner of the agency was staffing us to companies in Germany, charging high rates while paying us low salary in Poland. So that was his business. But it's fine. It gave me good experience. I was working back then. A company was called Go Euro. Now it's Omio. And it's like cool. Back then was cool, hot startup. I was able to work with hiring managers there, hiring engineers, got the feeling of the whole environment. Went 2 times for the business trips through this agency there. Got to know Berlin first time, was like super excited, and then I got fired after 6 months in this job. Yeah, that's why
It happens to all of us.
yeah, I got fired. Yeah, I hated the guy back then, but now I'm like, maybe I would fire myself as well. Yeah. Anyway, but it's good that after this job, I found a very nice job. Like, really happy that I was there. It's the company called Cadility. It's like a job assessment platform for engineers, and it's like one of the hottest startup in Poland. Like, and I joined them when they were still relatively small. Right after the, so imagine like I get fired, and because I'm an immigrant, I have a visa that allows me to stay 1 month in a country, and if you don't get a job, you go back home.
For Germany or
In Poland.
Ah, in Poland. Okay.
And I didn't want to go back home. So it was
Yeah.
like, and what's really cool when I'm thinking about that, the reason I found the second really cool job, because it's not very easy to find similar company in Poland, like product tech, SaaS,
Yes.
growing. I went to event. I went to an event, HR related event. Met there the girl that was working there as a head of talent. We had the chat. I told my situation. She's like, "Look, we're planning to open the role. It's still not live yet. So if you want, send me your details." I sent her details, and because they knew my situation, the interview process was like 3 or 4 days, and they made me an offer. And basically, I was able to get new documents and ability to stay in Poland and work. So I worked there for a year, and then I moved to Berlin.
Yeah. But it's already
As you can see, I don't stay at jobs too long.
job hopper. But it's already interesting, like, like in your journey, you can see that it's super important that you go to meetings, that you
Yes.
just don't cry at home, that you're
Absolutely.
like also open-minded, or like, because I know a lot of people who say, "Oh man, do you come with me to this event or something?" But that you also have the courage to go on yourself to a certain event.
I think it depends on your stage. So now I don't go to events. Honestly, like I don't have time. I have now 2 kids. They're 8 months old. I try to spend time with them. I try to like work takes a lot of time. So there's going to be a point of time in your life when you just don't have time for that, and it's fine. I don't think that you need to go to all the possible events. You need to be very strategic which events you go. But if you're in your like early 20s or whatever, you don't know what to do,
Yes.
and I mean, for me, that was transformative. If I would move to Poland and would not meet new people and would only hang out in the environment of university, like I would, well, what kind of job I would find?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. So go to events if you don't know what to do. If you know, then continue doing what you're doing.
And then you moved to Berlin.
Yeah, that was very exciting.
To Berghain.
Yeah. No. I'm not a tech.
This kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm not the. I like sometimes to go to the. Used to go, but now I don't. But yeah, I was like in 5, maybe 4 clubs during the year there. But it was fun. Yeah, and I joined like one of the coolest startups I think in Germany. Still, N26.
Yes.
The mobile bank, and I was able to get the job as well. Like not, and it wasn't through like networking or something, but I applied because I wanted to move to Berlin. I was very strategic which companies I want to work. I didn't apply to everything. I just knew like N26 is really cool. They were like 250 or 300 people when I applied. And
When did you apply? 2019?
2019, yeah.
It
Or
was also
18.
it was also the time when I downloaded N26
Nice.
because I was working back then in a call center
Yeah.
for Volksbanken,
Yeah, yeah.
like doing like transactions via phone.
Yeah.
And then I already saw like, okay, N26 advertisements in the tram.
Yeah.
And it was for me like so advanced, like it was like, whoa, they're like 100 years in the future already.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's I was really proud being part of that company back then. I was like, wow, it's such a cool company. I was like proud to just tell people like, where do you work? I'm like, here's this mobile bank, you know. I got the job because I applied, and then I wrote to almost every recruiter on LinkedIn who was working there.
Mhm.
And like, look, I applied to the job. Like, can we have a chat? I'm curious to learn about your company. So I kind of like build a little bit of
Network already.
yeah, through LinkedIn. I even had a chat with one recruiter, and I don't know if it helped me or not, but they definitely saw the proactivity, and they wanted a recruiter like that who would be very proactive and like outreach and so on. So they invited me for interview. I came to Berlin, had interview. They made me an offer. I worked there for a year. Not the year. I worked there for a year, and then we started the business.
But in a hypergrowth
And it's
phase. Yeah.
crazy hype. We grew from 250 people to 1,000 in a year. Like I joined a team of 4 or 5 recruiters. I left, it was like 40 or 30, like 30 or 40, like crazy, like huge room, just recruiters like interviewing candidates.
Yeah, I'm super curious how it was because I was at Bitpanda
Yeah.
in 2022.
Yeah.
And they were also like hyper growing from 600 to 1,000.
Yeah.
And then they laid off again 300 people.
Yeah. And 26 did the same.
So like you talked with, and during that time with 10, 20 people per day, like for recruiting?
For recruiters, yeah, it was like a phone booth, like 8, 10 interviews. And then that's why I started hating it. I didn't like, the thing is that like I knew that recruitment for me is the way. I never dreamed to be a recruiter, but I realized that it's the way for me without technical knowledge to quickly get jobs in nice companies, because back then there was like, you know, lots of investments in startups, companies were hiring, and they needed a recruiter. They needed recruiters. Recruiters, like, you rarely meet people who want to be recruiters. They end up being like in sales as well. But in sales, still, like, sales is a critical part of the organization. But the problem with becoming sales, being an immigrant, not knowing the local language, they usually want someone who speaks. Like if you want to get a nice job as a sales guy in Germany, you need to speak at least German.
Yes.
I mean, you can find, but it's hard. And when I realized that the only way I can do that is recruitment, I picked recruitment, but I didn't like it. I didn't like because it's very repetitive, it's operational. I didn't like it. And in N26, I had even more feeling like I hated. I started hating it because it's like every day, so many calls. You're repeating the same stuff. You're not like, I mean, I was growing like as a professional because I was working with all that super cool people like hiring managers, you know, you like discussing which candidate to hire and so on. But like 60% of your job is like interviewing candidates. So I think recruitment is only interesting when you're on the strategic level as a manager and you decide who does what, but not when you are like doing interviews.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why we started.
But maybe for this, to have it also on camera, what were like the best interviewers doing so that people can learn something from
The
you?
best interviewers?
Yeah.
Trying to, I think it's called like behavioral type of questions, is when you try to deep dive into like what person did in certain situation some time ago, which is similar to the situation that you will have in a job or something you want to assess. And then you just try to understand their behavior, how they've done it, why they've done it, what motivated them. And truth to be told, it's really hard to do. It's extremely hard. Work in a pretty cool companies. I rarely saw a person who does interviews well. Unfortunately, for many hiring managers who might see that, I think most of them are doing some like planned. Like it's. Of course, you can get rid of some candidates who like absolutely not relevant. But then when you have like 10 good candidates, it's so hard to tell exactly who is the best. So you always kind of like
throwing a dice.
yeah, you're kind of throwing dice. Yeah. And but the few people I met who were like extremely good in interviewing and they loved it, they were using these behavioral interview type questions when they were like looking for patterns, how you behave, for example, if there is a conflict, but not like, oh, I'm very like, I'm trying to not to conflict and try to find solutions, but exactly tell me when there was a conflict and your ego, for example, was touched. How did you? Yeah, that's but it's hard. I'm not that good as well at interviewing. Yeah.
And then again, after 1 year.
After 1 year, we started business with my best friend, he was a product manager. We studied together in the same university. He was a product manager. He was working in Kiev, in capital of Ukraine, as a product manager in quite cool company as well. And after half a year of him working there and me working at N26, we saw an opportunity for having a business in recruitment because like one part is like you work as an in-house recruiter and another one is an agency, and we saw how many agencies, for example from the UK, would hire candidates in Germany, charge like companies 20-30% like from salary. And that's when I realized that, oh my god, like I'm working here my ass off, I'm making this like it was 40K 42,000 annual salary with no bonus, while this guy from the UK just hired me, this engineer, and made like 20K in one hire, and I was making so many hires. And we were all the time discussing it with my co-founder, like, what the hell we doing? Like, and another thing, I accidentally, and I was telling to my co-founder, because he dreamed to be a product manager as well, to work as a product manager somewhere in Europe. He thought, salary is going to be high. And I'm like, dude, like you're going to make like as a senior, I know, like 80K, half would go to taxes. Like you're not going to get rich from that. And like this realization that, okay, I'm already at the peak, like I'm one of the top companies, like people with 20 years of experience making like 80, 90, 100K. And it's hard to break up from that. And we started thinking, okay, we need
You're
to
like
do
getting to
something.
the limit of European salaries.
Yeah, like and I know that I'm just at the beginning. I'm like schmack with like 2 years of experience. Like it's gonna take me so much to grow from that there. And we started thinking about ideas and something real, like not some, before we were thinking about some cool ideas, but okay, let's do something where there is money. And yeah, we started agency, and most of our clients were companies that I met as well at the events. So while working at 26, I was going to lots of HR related events, met lots of recruiters from different organizations, and these were our first clients, and these were the people who we started making money with. And then even N26 became our client. So
With the agency, did you already charge like in front also your customers, or like
I wasn't
only
so,
with placing?
yeah, only was placing. That was next level. This is top tier level agencies from London and like Germany do that. They charge retainer. We felt like we're a cheap Ukrainian agency. We can't do that. So we were like, please give us at least 20%. But man, that feeling when the first check came to the account,
Okay.
yeah, we're like, okay,
How long did it took you
3 months.
for the first fulfillment?
Yeah. And when we saw it, I'm like, okay, this is real. And then we started hiring people. We opened office in Kiev. I moved from Germany to Ukraine. We hired like 12 people. They were in the office. Then we realized it doesn't make to have sense to have office. We went fully remote, traveled the world, and but still didn't like recruitment. So it was bringing money, but it didn't bring happiness. So, and we started looking for different ideas constantly, and took us 2 years to come up with the first idea that we felt like we can continue doing that. And in between, we were running agency, traveling the world, and like throwing some websites, trying different ideas. Nothing worked. We even wanted to do like online kitchen, like crazy stuff. We like, we had like a spreadsheet. We had like a spreadsheet with different startups that raised money and what they're doing, and we were thinking, can we do that or not? We need to research. Like it was
Like to copy them
to
and just do
copy.
it
We just
better.
yeah. And eventually they say this way didn't work for us.
Okay. And how did you come up with Bluedot then?
With Bluedot, yeah, it wasn't it wasn't like Bluedot was it's crazy. the initial idea was, so my co-founder back then, it was like 2021, I think, or something. Yeah, he went to study in London, and I was traveling with my wife already. She became my wife. We were traveling, and we were trying. I mean, we didn't know what to do. He was studying, and we like wanted to do some. We still work on the agency, and one of the ways to grow the agency was podcast. So we started podcast. I was interviewing our clients or potential clients as a way to grow the business, and I wanted to create snippets like clips from this podcast. Back then, I saw that there are some people doing these clips, posting them on LinkedIn, and but to make the clip, there was no AI tool, so I would need to go to Descript, cut certain part, and use a video editing
Yeah.
tool like Canva. It was so annoying, and I'm like, fuck, if there would be a product that like does it better, like would be so nice. And my co-founder, because he has this product mind, he's like, dude, like let's do something. Let's do like what you want. I'm like, okay, let's do that. And he designed the website, designed Figma prototype. We hired a freelancer, and it kind of worked. Like it looked nice. And then there was this moment. You remember Clubhouse?
Yeah, of course.
And there was a Clubhouse hype. Um, and what we did, we created it was kind of a spin-off from that main idea, that you can send the link to your Clubhouse, and from this Clubhouse we would create a nice like landing page that you can share with people, because before you was just sharing like link to Clubhouse.
Yeah, I remember.
And it went viral. Like
Okay.
people started posting about it on Twitter. Like we product hunt, we got like second place or something. VC started writing. It's crazy. VC starting writing
Just for this landing page.
Yeah, VC. It's like it's just like keywords. Oh, like AI. Like, and they're writing. It was like, oh, Clubhouse. Like we got like 15 calls booked by VCs. Like some top VCs from Germany as well, that wanted to know what are we doing in this Clubhouse thing. And it was just like a like little thing we threw out there. Anyway, we realized, okay, so it's actually possible. Like you can build something and potentially raise money, or people we got this feeling of like
We can do it.
we can do something. Like
Yeah.
it's not something virtual. So we kept going, and then we applied to YC. We didn't go with Clubhouse, but what we did is that we were positioning as like Canva for video. So the idea, you throw there your podcast, we clip it in different clips. You use different
I do it with
templates.
Opus Clips now.
Yeah, now it's like AI. Back then it was just like you manually select which clip. With transcribe, you manually select. And then you use one of our pre-built templates, and templates like in Canva, but designed for interview style videos, you know? And you can add title and so on. And then you have like 5-10 clips that you can share. So yeah, now with Opus, it's, I mean, maybe if we would keep
Also
going
with CapCut.
at CapCut as well.
Yeah.
And many tools right now do that, because AI allows you to identify
yeah.
interesting parts. We did this, we applied to AC, we got to the final stage, we got rejected. And then we applied to a few more accelerators. We got offer from 3, one from the UK, and 2 from the US. And one of them was On Deck. And back then, On Deck was really trending as like alternative to YC, a super cool place in San Francisco, blah, blah, blah. So we were like super excited. And we got, I think it's like 150K as a first check. That was our first check. And then we got a few more angel checks and just kept building. And then we realized that, so there was we had a mentor who was mentoring us, and then mentoring us. And then there was a demo day, and he was like, okay, what are you going to present during the demo day? And this idea that we had, like a Canva for video, it was hard to show as a $1 billion idea. And the whole thing about like startups, you need to have this VC story, $1 billion. And this wasn't $1 billion. And he was pushing us do something else. And what we did, we just looked like, okay, we have this technology of transcribing, and there is this startup from San Francisco that raised from A16Z, Series A, seed and Series A. It was called Rewatch back then. They got acquired now, but they were doing like you have a company-wide tool for organizations where all of your meetings are recorded, transcribed, like a knowledge base, and it sounded super sexy, B2B enterprise. We're like, let's go there. So just like started changing the product, pitched this during the demo day, got a few angels interested, but the war started. So we were pitching, like, we were pitching during. Damn, it was like second day of the war. I was in Ukraine back then, so I was pitching from the fuck, when you go down to the
basement.
I was pitching from the basement. So I was from the basement.
Wow,
My co-founder
okay.
was he was in Paris back then. It was crazy, but because it was the war started and so on, there was not much money on. Like, you remember, the company started at some point stopped hiring. It was like a little bit of crisis all over the place. So many angels didn't want to invest, and we were like, okay, demo day wasn't successful, and then we just raised a little bit from other angels we found. And then thank you to Google. Google opened this Google for Startups fund for Ukrainian founders, and they gave us another 120K check, equity free. So just as a like gift. But you had to go through the competition. Like, there was like only 15 or 20 startups funded. So this money really helped us a lot.
And when did you left Ukraine then?
It was 9 months later.
9 months later.
Yeah. It's a long story how. We can skip it. But yeah, I left and I moved to Germany, to Düsseldorf, because one of my friends who was in, who I used to work with in N26, she was living in Düsseldorf, and she offered my wife to stay here. So she came here, and then I came here, and that's how Düsseldorf, super randomly.
And how do you like it here?
Here?
Because it's like the Rhine-Ruhr area is not known as like a tech spot, but it's actually like the 14th richest area in the world.
Yeah, the area is rich, but like it's not very innovative. But it's a different conversation about overall Germany, and because like if you okay, that's a different sidetrack. I always like to compare. There's like the population in this area, like in Netherlands. The size is size of Netherlands, but Netherlands probably has like 10x more startups and like stuff going on than here. Yes, there's like lots of machinery and like Henkel, whatever, but it's like old school business.
Yeah.
Like somehow Germany doesn't produce that much.
What do you think needs to happen, or like in Germany, especially because like master in Poland, born and grow up in Ukraine, like countries which are super advanced IT regarded.
Yeah.
Like from your perspective, what needs to
change?
To change in Germany, but also in Europe, from your perspective, where everyone benefits.
I don't know, man. It's such a. If you read like Twitter and like LinkedIn, it's like all the time this post like US versus Europe. I think there is some stuff which are just like cultural. Like it just, because I've been in the US for this work and travel program, and then I traveled a few times for this accelerator. So in total, probably like half a year I spent there. I would say it's just natural for them to network. It's just natural for them to introduce people. Like when I moved to Düsseldorf, like the reason I met people, because for me it's natural. I don't know why, but I was writing to everyone on LinkedIn who was somehow related to tech or startup, and like, hey, let's meet for coffee. I met some people, but man, it's so hard to get people out. Like for the same for Cologne, I write to people like, let's grab coffee, doing something interesting. Like not everyone replies to you, or some people, oh, I'm busy or don't answer. Like you go to SF or like New York, if you're doing something cool and you're writing to relevant people, inviting for coffee, so much easier. This is first, meeting. Second, introductions. Like introductions is what made me find first job, and then like second job is like I met someone, they introduced me. In the US, it's just part of the culture to introduce each other. Like, oh, you're doing something cool. This guy's doing something cool. You guys should meet. Like, boom, boom. Went to wrote email. You don't get it here. It's like communities are gated. Like, oh, I have my little bubble. I have my little. Some people do that, but it's like it's not part of the culture. So I think there's this cultural aspects, and other aspects is just. It feels like the German system is designed around you getting good school, good university. You go for a job, work 20 years, get retired, get nice pension, travel like as an old person. this system worked fine. Now it doesn't work, and I think it's broken. It's going to be broken just because demographics doesn't work anymore, and um, there there just going to be a moment when I think moment of no return, when it's like so bad that you need to make a change, and before it's so bad there's going to be no change. I don't believe in a change when everything is fine. The same with like all that I know I'm gonna sound controversial, like this Bürgergeld, all that support. Like I think it kill it, like you need to have some motivation to work. You need to have the motivation to like I had the motivation in Poland. Like I had 1 month to either find a job or leave country and go back to Ukraine, and I didn't want that because for me that would be a failure. So I had to every day like hustle to find a job. And I see here people like not having a job. I know some people not having a job. Fine, like government would pay you like for 6 months or 12 months. So they may chill. It's cool for individual. I like it, but as I think about the whole society, it makes people a bit weaker. In Ukraine, there's no support. Like you're gonna die if like you're not gonna if you don't have family. And I think in Turkey as well. Like, do they support? No.
They support, but it's you will still seriously would struggle.
You will struggle, so
Yeah.
you need to find something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like, but this is nice when everything works. When
Yeah.
the country works, all fine. But now country doesn't work. Like economy doesn't work, and like it lost competitive edge, and you need to change it. And how it's gonna happen, but I don't know. I'm not like Mertz.
Yeah, I grew up with Bürgergeld. Like back then, it was
Yeah.
called Hartz IV.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think it's still super critical. But thinking about my father passed away last year, because like he struggled a lot to get a job, and he
Yeah.
had also like physical problems that
Yeah.
he could do hardworking jobs. But at least like he could, like, it was called €1 job,
Yeah.
so that people do at least something, and he took every opportunity. But because in his case, it was not like, okay, just take.
But he had health
Bürgergeld.
problems. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, but he went, like, for example, like to this job where he was like standing at the top of the Cologne Philharmonie.
yeah.
And then he was like just telling people, hey, you
I know,
can't
I know.
cross
I saw-
this
yeah, yeah,
place
yeah.
because of the sound. And I think like it should be like people who get Bürgergeld should be at least encouraged, because like you have labor shortage in
Yeah,
caring homes, for example.
yeah,
Like people at least do something more there, engaged more there, because like thinking about the time my father was living in a
Yeah.
caring home,
yeah,
like a lot of this work was like just bringing, for example, water to the table or food.
yeah.
And I think this doesn't need to be done by someone professional who did
Yeah.
an apprenticeship in,
Yeah.
in caring, or a nurse. I think this could be also done by people who are living by Bürgergeld,
Yeah, yeah,
so that they at least do something for the society, for the community, instead of just, yeah, and it's still something chill and not like a toxic work environment.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, if you look at the individual cases, there are like if someone is, for example, not healthy in Ukraine as well, you get some support from not much, probably like in Turkey, but here you can be like a young guy who maybe doesn't feel like he wants to work, like, and you can legitimately get support and live, right? It's possible. And like we're all surprised why Asia, why China, why US is so advanced, because they work like crazy. I'm not saying like people need here to work like crazy. It's not like there should be something in between. But at the same time, like, and it is changing. I can see this change. Like even like what people are discussing, like how Mertz are talking,
Yes.
sometimes like a little bit too aggressive. But like overall, this whole conversation started because you can't live like everything is working fine. And, like there is a reason, yeah, China and Asia is so advanced, because like 30 years you have like hungry population working, innovating, and they live well. So yeah, same in the US. Why? Like, yeah, it's not good as well. I'm not saying I want a society where like if you don't pay for insurance, you get kicked out on the
Yeah.
street. But somehow it allows them to grow economically,
But I'm also super curious because, for example, before about regarding like introductions,
Yeah.
a networking, grabbing a coffee. Is it something like European or is it German? Because like
What introductions?
yeah, like because like it sounded like that in Poland, like people were more supportive.
No. It's
Uh,
I I think it's mostly European wide thing. Maybe UK is a little bit different. I've heard that in France, I never lived in France, my co-founder
yeah.
lived. I heard in France, French people are super open to introduce other French people. So they have this little bubble where they kind of like super open to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like there are lots of local champions, local businesses like SaaS businesses, because they try to buy from other French SaaS businesses, which is super cool for the local
Mm-hmm.
community. Um, but like I'm talking as well like from the point of view of an immigrant, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm maybe they people look at me different because I speak with them English, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But overall I think European culture is more European, I'm like it's I don't like it as well because I'm generalizing.
Yeah, but for example, also I feel like Southern Europeans are much more open-minded than Germans, for example.
More open like to introduce, more open just to chat and so
Yes.
on. They have some other problems there, but they're not going to touch it because I'm just going to be conversation about different cultures and so on. But that's just my feeling about the US. Like I even wanted to write a post about it on LinkedIn. That like this feeling that everyone, if you're doing something interesting, not
Mm-hmm.
like you're just trying to chat with everyone and take their time. You're doing something interesting. It's relevant to these people. They're super open to meet with you. They're super open to meet to make an intro. They don't hide their network,
Mm-hmm.
and that's super cool thing because if you extrapolate this to many people in one place, like let's say San Francisco, for 10 or 20, 30 years, this can create immense wealth.
Mm.
So that's it.
Okay, because I think like as Europeans we're still evolving and
Yeah.
it's still not. I've because often like on LinkedIn it say yeah Europe versus US,
Yeah.
but I still feel like there's not this kind of European culture. It's still evolving. It's a process,
It's a
and
process.
people are still thinking about oh Germans, oh Italians, or like
Yeah.
French.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
And mostly of I got Eastern Europeans because I did my internship in Vienna,
yeah.
and I've met so many people from Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
like from Romania, Poland, and also super well educated. And because in Cologne I was like growing up in a working class environment, I had these biases that people are not that intelligent in Eastern Europe.
Of course.
And this shifted my mindset so much, and that we should be also thinking more inclusive about Eastern European, because I think especially about the Eastern European countries,
Yeah.
there's so huge potential for the future.
Crazy. Like man, Poland. I moved there 10 years ago, lived for 3 years, and now every year I go. This is one of the few countries in Europe where you can, at least in Warsaw, where you can clearly see the progress. Like that the country, the GDP is growing, GDP per capita is growing. Like the buildings that you see there, the companies that open offices there, the restaurants, the infrastructure. Like this is the country that's doing lots of progress. This is Poland, absolutely. And one of the reasons is because people are hungry, like hungry in terms of hungry for work, hungry for success. They want to build a better life.
Yes.
They, for so many years, lived under Soviet, Union. They started from almost nothing and had to rebuild. And they still have this hunger, even in the next population. They want to live even better. This is what drives the progress. And I feel like in Germany, that's just a little bit lost because it's been always good for a long time, and the next generation feels like it's fine, like it's going to be fine. Because if you live for 50 or 60 years in prosperity, of course, like it can happen that that's why, for example, I want my kids to as well, like not to feel like everything is fine, because you don't know if everything is fine. Tomorrow the war will start. Like you need to be able to start again, and like start again, not being afraid of the change, because the world is not that rosy and shiny like 30 years ago. I mean, even 30 years ago there were like places where there was a war and so on, but Europe in particular, it's not that stable anymore. I don't believe like I because what happened in Ukraine, I always on the back of my mind feel something could happen at some moment, even here, even though we live in this nice Western Germany, Western Europe place. You don't know.
Yeah. Well,
but I hope it's not going to happen. So we're drinking Espresso Mertini.
Cheers again.
Cheers.
Well, Ruslan, thank you a lot for this conversation. It was super insightful from your life path, career path, but also the conversation about Europe. Do you want to give our audience some last words?
Some last words. Keep going, don't give up.
Yalla, vamos. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.